There's a little red-headed bird right there. I don't know what he is. Last week I was planting lettuce, my second succession, in this half of the bed. And I noticed that my first succession of lettuce was being eaten by something. I found a slug or two, a cutworm underneath my logs here. But now I'm not seeing anything under the logs, but I'm still seeing damage. You know, like quite a bit of damage after I replanted everything. So I'm gonna need to come out here at night and do some night patrol. Okay, I am out here at night with my Blastola headlamp. And we're just pulling back this row cover. Well, I am not seeing anything in this lettuce. This is May, and it says plant out basil and cucumbers, but I changed the start date on those, and so I'll be planting those out maybe the 13th or the 20th, depending on weather. So mostly this is just be planting out lettuce and green onions the next couple of weeks that I've already got those started and sitting out on the greenhouse tables. So taking a look at my little corral here of soil blocks that I let germinate. And these are my green onions, the 5th succession, and they're starting to pop up. So I'm going to take these guys out to the greenhouse tables today. And then over here in my makeshift nursery, I saw my cucumbers sprouting a couple days ago. And so yesterday I pulled up and put them underneath the lights here. They're not quite all up. And then my basil here, I thinned them down to 1 little plant per soil block. And these are my tomatoes, and I'm actually surprised at how well they're doing. I actually need to pot them up. And in order to get them situated so they're not too tall under the lights, I'm gonna need to finally arrange this so that'll work out. Maybe I'll get to that this week as it's raining outside. Okay, so I'm in what will later be the basil greenhouse. Got my table of some leftover transplants, parsley that still needs to go out, leeks at the far back that still need to go out, previous plantings of green onions, and my new shiny germinated green onions from up at the house. La 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 la. So I didn't see any slugs or cutworms in the lettuce beds out in the garden last night. So I'm thinking of, if I'm good, coming out not, like maybe 2 in the morning or something like that. Oh, la la la, okay, perfect. Kale on top of my chard and bok choy. I'm now in what will later be the cucumber greenhouse, and I've got my 3rd and 4th successions of Salanova lettuce. Okay, so I've got a little bit of Salanova lettuce, a little bit of baby chard, and a bunch of radishes. I just did an impromptu check of my lettuce beds here. I've been grabbing some of these little critters. It doesn't curl up like a cutworm. Okay, dudes, I'm out here at 2:45 or so in the morning. This time I'm gonna get down and dirty. So now this guy was eaten. Okay, success, people. It is that worm, and for all I know, there's like thousands of them. And so, I've kept these beds covered because the migrating yellow-crowned sparrow is out and about. I don't know if they've left Wrangell yet or not. What they do is they come out and they eat you know, whatever plants. There's no sense in having this covered because these worm things are eating it. And so I'm just gonna leave it uncovered. So anyway, it's pretty cruddy out here. I'm gonna get back in the house, but it's good to at least know. I mean, essentially I'm gonna lose all of this lettuce. I'm back up in the safety and comfort of my own home. Okay, I can see actually quite a few of them out here in the new garden area. Yeah, these two are just little juncos, and they eat weed seeds, and so I'm sure they're like, oh yay, clover seed, this is so awesome. Okay, so now I see a passel of new shiny birds coming over here. Yeah, I can see the yellow on his head. So these, the golden crowned sparrows, they were the ones that eat vegetation. All of these beds that are uncovered are just completely dug through. And this is the bed, you know, with the lettuce. And they just totally rototilled through this bed. In fact, they have just ripped up even the green onions. Here in this section, I'm taking a closer look here. I know in the past that the golden crown sparrows eat sugar snap peas, and they have also eaten bok choy. I've seen that in the past as well. I wasn't sure if they ate lettuce, but I'm looking here, and you can see because they're chomping the edges. Can you see? If I get closer, he'll probably fly away. He's totally eating my lettuce. Hi, a momentary moment while the sun is poking out of the sky and it's not raining. But I think I'm gonna be inside today, repot the tomatoes, get some soil blocks going, restart some lettuce and green onions. And the switcheroo is done. I've got cucumbers and basil on the top and tomatoes on the bottom, but they'll be going into pots. And at the beginning of the season, I went ahead and switched this out to just 2 lights with the shield on the outside, just because I figured that'd be enough light for little tiny starts. But for my more mature plants, I thought it might be better to have 3 lights, and the shields are all off for, you know, maximum light. But you can see that there is a lot of room for me to be able to raise this light up as you know, more mature plants grow. Hopefully these guys are happy in their 4 little pots. This week I'm seeding 2 of the 4 flats of soil blocks that I made, 72 each green and red Salanova lettuce, plus parade green onions, 3 tubs, 24 soil blocks each. No birds. We were getting a little break from the rain, so I thought I'd come out here and take care of my situation out here, but it's starting to sprinkle, so I brought my raincoat anyway. I came over here really quick to give a check to my kale bed that I planted last week that I haven't checked yet, and guess what? I am seeing damage over here too. And I just went through and I'm finding this worm over here as well. And this wasn't even an established bed. This material came from compost, from, you know, over in the bins. And also I did pull material from the pathway. And then I see something moving here, and it's a worm. See that? So I got a few of those guys in my little tub here, along with their breakfast. I'm gonna check in my other bed of kale over here, because I haven't checked them for a few days. All right, now checking in this bed where I've got chard here in the front and dazzling blue kale in the back. And oh, here is a chard that got hit, but I'm seeing more kale damage. Oh, here's one. Here's one where the stem's been cut off. I'm pulling the row cover off this bed, and at the end here, oops, there's me. There are all these flies underneath here like I had last year. Alrighty, so these guys look pretty fine. The rain has been really hard on the leaves. You know, these guys really need hoops. Okay, so I was just about to put hoops over those beds of kale, and I took a look over here and just noticed that my row cover over my raspberries has been ripped to shreds. Is it that they're growing through the row cover? These raspberries have been just eaten. Okay, so ignoring my raspberry plants for a moment, I thought I would check on, I thought, oh my gosh, the slugs have gotten to my kale, but this is damage from golden crown sparrows. Oh my gosh, they ate my radishes. They ate my bok choy. Oh my God. Just check at the back end of the greenhouse where I have my little hole. This is the big gap that I'm seeing now. I did push this netting in here, this deer fencing, in hopes of, but there's still like these holes. Okay, so what disaster do I fix first? Okay, hoops on and row cover on. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is clip back the main canes so that they're not so tall. And then I'm also gonna use this thrips row cover because I think it's a little bit more of a stronger material. The good news is that there's tons of raspberry shoots in that bed, and the deer fencing is on the barge headed from Seattle, so I can get everything protected finally. I'm gonna head over to the greenhouses and fill holes. Alrighty, so I've got this back area spackled. I've been meaning to want to clean up this, do something with this back area, but got this taken care of for the birds. Okay, so this is what this sucker is. Crane fly larva. Can be confused with a cutworm. That's the thing about this little guy. He doesn't curl up like a cutworm, and he doesn't have any legs like a cutworm. A red-breasted sapsucker. That's him. All quiet on the western front. No birds at all this morning, or this afternoon, or whatever it is. I've got drip on all 4 beds in the greenhouses. We're supposed to have a few days of sun. The new raspberry covers are still intact. Okay, folks, so I have a plan XYZ. I had kind of thought that maybe I would move into the new garden area and supplement the beds with some rotted seaweed and plant the lettuce starts in there, but then I just don't know where those crane flies are laying their eggs. I don't know where they're, yeah. So I thought, you know, actually my best hope is that since the birds have gone through these beds that where I was gonna originally plant the lettuce, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a test planting. Lettuce bed succession 1 and 2 that the worms gobbled, and this was gonna be succession 3. I put a couple of lettuces underneath these tubs just for the night. Total of 8. And I don't know that having this for just one night is gonna really tell me anything, but based on the results of plan X, we will decide what to do as far as plan Y and Z. If we ignore my lettuce disaster over there for a second and take a look at this bed at the edge of the garden where I seeded for the first time raw carrot seed with the jang, and it is coming up pretty nicely. There are no birds out here right now, and my grid is intact, folks. No birds kicking around. And the worms did not eat my lettuce, at least not last night. Okay, so I think I'm gonna take a chance and plant out that half bed of lettuce and call it my first succession of Salanova lettuce. I think, you know, I tried to get a couple weeks head start on my lettuce this year. And I don't know if that was very smart. It's probably better to let the birds kick through and eat everything before planting out. I didn't see those fox sparrows much this year, so they were the ones that really did a lot of work last year in the garden, rototilling before I planted. Anyway, this is gonna be a long, confusing video, but all's well that ends well. See you guys next week. 60 each green and red Salanova lettuce, 24 green onions. Hopefully nothing eats these guys. That red-headed bird is like a woodpecker thing. I saw him out in the garden the other day. Each time I move, he just sticks his head out and looks. Hi, buddy. Oh, there you are. Oh. There, I can see him better now.